President Hirshman, first year,
Yes.
here you are, and from a sports standpoint, you've been busy. I mean, this really is, having been around a long time, this is momentous. This is really simply huge. And people who were with the Western Athletic Conference, no offense to the Mountain West, it never became big time. This is big time.
Absolutely. This is an opportunity for our athletes to compete in football at the absolute highest level. Ultimately, being part of the Bowl Championship Series is an opportunity to compete for a national championship. And this is laying the groundwork for us to move towards that.
When did the genesis of this, take me back to where the idea, the idea clearly it's been out there in the water because everybody's been moving and moving. Sure. I'm assuming your mindset and Jim Sturck's mindset, look, if we don't go someplace, we'll be left behind with a conference that has no BYU, no Utah, and no TCU. So when exactly did this start to move?
Sure. So this has been something since I came that we've been pursuing in a quiet way. Mm-hmm. So we've been sending out information about our athletic and academic programs to a variety of institutions and a variety of conferences. And everyone uniformly has received it well, and they've commented on the strength of our academic programs, on the progress of our athletic programs. And we just, as we had the discussions with the Big East, we realized that that was a place where it could work. And so we were back and forth with them sharing information, and they were obviously talking to other institutions. And then at about Thanksgiving, they said, why don't you come to New York and have a short discussion with us, and we can see where it will lead. Mm-hmm. And then we had a great discussion. We thought there were real prospects. I was particularly excited about the value brought by 4 time zones. Mm-hmm. So that gives you certain opportunities for fans to view and for your games to be available to people that you don't see in other conferences. And so from there, then, we began to get into the details of the contract and what we would do and what they would do. And we found that they were very accommodating, and we felt good about what they were offering. So just as one example, mm-hmm. We know our basketball, men's and women's basketball, are marquee programs.
Right.
And we really wanted to continue to move those programs forward. And we thought a piece of that would be home and home games with the great Big East teams, the Georgetowns, the Connecticuts. Mm-hmm. And so we asked for that as part of our discussion. They were only too happy to move that forward because they have great respect for our football team, but also for our men's and women's basketball teams.
And it's probably safe to say, no offense to those teams and coaches, say 5 and 6 years ago, but the football program was not there. The basketball program, coming off 34-3, was not there. That you probably couldn't have made this deal until because the recent success really had you had showcase teams to sell, and they bought it.
Right. That was a big part of our discussion with them. Is that we're a campus with momentum. Mm-hmm. So if you look at our academic programs getting better and better, you look at the success of the athletic programs, they were aware of that. Mm-hmm. And they said, here's a diamond that we can grab and make part of our conference family. And so it's a great opportunity for them also, as well as for us.
Was there ever a time when they had that announcement of the joining of the Mountain West Conference with Conference USA and making that huge 16 team? Was there ever a chance that was going to happen? That might preempt what you did eventually do. Is that ever a serious possibility?
I think the Mountain West is still considering that as a mm-hmm. possibility, and they're going to work through it. One of the challenges from our perspective was that 3 great Conference USA teams and a great Mountain West team were very interested in this Big East approach. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that got me very, very excited, is that we're going into the Big East, but we're going in with Boise State, Houston, 2 top 10 teams there, mm-hmm. SMU, and Central Florida, all very strong academically and in their athletic program. So that was part of the attraction, is coming in all together and really making a statement about where the Big East is going.
Was there ever a chance in your discussions, or did you pitch that, or did they ask that, like the others that are in terms of Houston and SMU, that they wanted basketball and football, as big as they are at San Diego State, to be coming in like those are entirely into the Big East?
So we did talk about the possibility of other sports, but when we looked at the logistics of what would it take for our tennis team to be traveling to Connecticut and thinking about those details. So the teams that have multiple games on the road that play during the week, it's very, very hard on the student athletes. So we decided mutually not to pursue that. And we think that the opportunity for our men's and women's basketball team to play the top Big East opponents multiple times during the year gets us quite a bit in supporting those programs and moving their RPIs up without imposing on the student athletes some of the challenges that you would have when you're playing 34 or 35 games or matches a year.
And I'm assuming, by the way, though, the news conference is right, just preceding us, but it's been out, it was on ESPN, it was on all the networks last night, that your feedback initially has been good.
Sure,
because
absolutely.
The truth of the matter is, Doctor, my gosh, the Mountain West, no offense to them, but they're not even cleared, never have, in the Dallas market. They are not on in half of the homes in San Diego. So I think from the standpoint of ABC, ESPN, this is huge for Aztec fans.
Yeah. Well, I think what people at this university resonate to is the ambition of the institution, is that this is an institution that thinks big and where people want to get things done and really want to move up. And this is part of that, is playing at the highest level. So there's been great enthusiasm. When we spoke to our volunteer leadership on a variety of boards and a variety of groups, they were uniformly, unanimously enthusiastic. And we've had great enthusiasm, obviously, from our athletes and the coaches. So it's a real groundswell in support of this.
No, I believe that. I really do. Your counterpart at Boise State had said a couple of weeks ago that he had gotten permission from the chancellor of whatever their system is called, to go ahead and make his deal with the Big East. Where did you have to go in terms of running this up the flagpole and talking to the California State system?
So my boss, so to speak, is the chancellor of the California State University, Charlie Reed. And so we kept him informed about this approach and the opportunities, and had very good detailed discussions. He provided great feedback about issues we should consider. He was actually the chancellor of the Florida system, where Florida State and University of Florida are. So he's very versed in issues of intercollegiate athletics. And I think he helped us to shape the discussion so that they were very beneficial to San Diego State University.
If the BCS, which many people pray, would go away in 2014, and the AQ business, the automatic qualifying, and an extra couple of whatever millions of dollars are involved, I assume, based on what you said, I believe this, that it's still, with no BCS, it's still a great deal for San Diego State.
Right, absolutely. First, I don't think the automatic qualifier and the BCS will go away. But having said that, the value is in the teams, and that will be playing each other. So there's tremendous interest and value when you think about what we have across the country, from Tampa and Orlando to the New York metropolitan region, to Louisville in Ohio in the central of the country, to Texas, to our rivalry with Boise. You're bringing a tremendous number, and they often cite it in terms of households, but it's 28% of the households in America are in these footprints. So tremendous interest and tremendous value in this, and I think that is independent of AQ status in the BCS. But AQ status in the BCS do bring something important to us.
Sure. I'm assuming with all these meetings and flying to New York and the conference calls, when was the last time you were home?
I get home all the time, and Jim and I were joking, though, that our wives were clearly saying they were jealous of the amount of time we were spending with each other. And so I'm dedicated to spending more time with my wife and a little less with Jim in the future.
Doctor, congratulations. This is a
Thank you.
huge day in San Diego sports.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You betcha.
Thank you.